Wild bee species are an incredibly important part of our ecosystem in the UK, responsible for pollinating many crops and wild plants. They are often overlooked, however, in favour of domesticated honeybees, despite being a more important pollinator. Like their domesticated cousins, wild bees are in decline due to human activities. However, little research has been done focusing on wild species, with the focus instead being on domesticated honeybees, which is a great shame. These are an incredibly important and incredibly diverse group of insects, and we are looking at common species you'd like to see in this video, as well as reasons for their decline. So let's get into it. There are over 250 species of bee in the UK. However, you're only likely to see roughly 10 to 11 different species consistent in your back garden, though you may see other rarer ones. These include the big 8 bumblebees, the common carder bumblebee, the red-tailed bumblebee, the early bumblebee, the tree bumblebee, the garden bumblebee, the heath bumblebee, the buff-tailed bumblebee, and the white-tailed bumblebee. That's a lot of bumblebees. Other common species include the red mason bee and the tawny mining bee. All of these species are widely distributed and common throughout the UK, so you're very likely to see them. Most other species of wild bee are solitary bees and live in relatively niche habitats and in low densities, so you're unlikely to see them. As the name suggests, they live in solidarity and not in hives like most other species. You're also likely to come across the honeybee, which is rarely wild and often of domesticated stock, sometimes even non-native, as they are very widespread. Interestingly, these bees compete with wild species for resources such as nectar, so watch out for these little stingers. Now let's go on to some reasons for bee decline in the UK. So what's all this buzz been about lately? It's become apparent recently that populations of pollinators are reducing due to human activity, bees included. While domesticated honeybees have been the subject of much research, wild populations have often been neglected, especially solitary bees, which are hard to research. Like the honeybee, wild bee species aren't solely affected by one factor. There's no one underlying cause, but several smaller factors, such as climate change, disease, pesticides, predation, habitat loss, to name a few. 3 major causes of pollinator loss have been identified. Increasing spread of diseases such as invertebrate iridescent virus, IIV, have been linked to every unnatural death of honeybee hive in the US and has been found in wild populations. Fungal spores such as Nosema and varroa mites, a parasite, have also been found. All of the diseases either kill the host outright or leave them open to secondary infection. Pesticides have been linked to many reductions in insect populations, bees included. Widely used on crops and often contaminating wild plants, they're a hot topic issue in bee conservation, as there's been a lot of pushback from the agricultural industry regarding their effect. One pesticide in particular, Neonicotinoids, which are now banned in the UK, have been shown to affect the bees' homing ability, so they are unable to locate the hive and therefore die of exposure, with the hive collapsing eventually due to the lack of workers. Finally, climate change and habitat reduction due to increasing agricultural intensification and urbanisation have been one of the main causes of losses in wild populations. This leads to increasing competition between species for nesting sites and reducing resources such as pollen and nectar. Thank you for listening. I hope you found this brief overview of wild bee species and the threats affecting them informative. All sources used for this video have been referenced in the description box below. Bye for now.